Alright, we got the Magpies coming out now. Let's go. Girls, please head over to your left for a team photo. Thank you. We now welcome the Bulldogs onto the field. Can you please wait for your team photo? Thank you. We'd also like to welcome the umpires. We've got some travelling umpires from Darwin. We've also got some local umpires here from Tiwi. If we could please have the two captains to the centre of the oval for the coin toss. Thank you.
How about you? What do you expect to?
You know what? I don't think I thought that it was the vibes. Like, I think, like, you know, it's just such a small thing.
Just a problem with that. Where's your community without the knowledge, appreciation, and worry? I honestly want to tell you two questions. Okay, can you concur? Yeah, I think I'll probably. Okay,
Stanley agrees.
That's what I was thinking. I'm trying to say.
Do you play is it like a dance? Major or like broader? Yeah, broader. Yeah.
That's my favourite part.
Midday. It's fun.
You have to wait till like 8 p.m.
Yeah, no. Why is that people? Oh my god, I must have. Did you guys get here? I didn't like before.
No, yeah,
We probably sat down like before.
What did you get?
I feel like no one's yeah. I went at Bongo Road, so.
Oh, do you? That's awesome.
Got myself a little boy.
That's okay for now.
I always have an art club.
I do have really many.
Like, what, how it and then I just, that's what I should say.
That's a good system. Like explosion.
Yeah, well, it's just like, I was supposed to fabric skirts.
Where did you get it in the gallery?
I went to, I got it from Tiwi Designs actually. I was like, and then I went there and I was like, actually, that fabric is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This one, that's the most of my last time was oh, the roof is like, I can't hear it. You guys have to love the bed. Oh my god, what a nice man. Yeah. I think they're on stream. I feel like they're audience. Yeah, so
That sounds too high for me. You're funny on the
I actually have that one. Yeah, no, someone else is thinking that one. I know. Oh, well, yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I kind of like, yeah. I was like, That's very coming. January time to make it. Yeah, but I'm kind of afraid of getting into the if I get a different yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's easy target. Is that what I haven't opened my algorithm. Oh well, when you catch the bear, yeah, tired when you shot it. Yeah. Oh, that's sick. That's cool, right? I was thinking, no, if anything, it's fun because like I like
From Europe.
Well, here it is. It's one of the most exciting days on the Northern Territory sporting calendar. It's the Tiwi Islands Grand Final. We welcome everyone to AFLNT's coverage of the 2025 Tiwi Islands Football League Grand Final day. Of course, today we have the Tiwi Islands Women's League Grand Final and the Men's League's Grand Final live from Stanley Tipiloura Oval in Wurrumiyanga. Today it's the Wurrumiyanga
Before we
Magpies
commence
up
the game,
against the Walama
can we just remind
Bulldogs
all
in the women's
supporters to
competition.
stay behind the
My
fence.
name's Stu Davis and I'm joined in commentary today by Will Zwar. Welcome, Will.
G'day Stu, great to be here from the studios here in Darwin. Unfortunately not over in the islands this year, but it's going to be a fantastic day nonetheless, and pretty interesting matchup we've got here so far, just with the notes in front of me. This will be the fourth time they've played each other so far this year. The Bulldogs so far have won 2 of those games. The first game of the season, 11-4-70, they won by 67 points against the Magpies, who kicked just 3 points that day. Then in round 13, it was a bit of a role reversal, 62 points to 22 in favour of the Magpies. And then the first week of finals, Bulldogs again got up 6 goals, 7-43 to the Magpies, 4-8-32.
Yeah, so teams obviously pretty evenly matched. A couple of standouts, particularly in the Magpies team. I think Arthurina Maureen is a star of the NTFL women's competition, as is Frida Puruntatameri, so a couple there to look out for. But we're underway straight away, and it's the Magpies just thumping it forward, getting it down to half forward, but picked up across half back and brought back in a nice mark, taken in the middle of the ground by May Cantilla, who clears out wide to the outer side wing. First to the ball out there for the Magpies is Clara Johnston, just paddling the ball in front of her, trying to get control. She's under plenty of pressure, close to the boundary line, eventually gets a hand pass forward, and now the Magpies a chance to come inboard. Mark not taken, and at ground level it's going to be Walama Bulldogs first to the ball on the ground, but a hack off the ground gets it to centre half forward, but Bulldogs running out of defence. Stanley Port Jimmy has a bounce and then kicks long towards half forward out in front of Emma Karanua, but she's stripped of the ball, and that's Arthurina Maureen, who's cleverly dodges round back onto the right foot and kicks into the middle of the ground. Bit of a push there, and the Bulldogs again through the hands get it over to Puruntatameri, who gets it out wide, but some good pace there by Tanisha John Forrest, and just hand passes out in front of herself now, having trouble controlling the ball at ground level. Overruns it there and has to go back for it. Almost some high contact play on's the call, and she's in the action again at ground level. Just can't control the ball there as the Bulldogs just trying to get it out of the congestion any way they can. But again, a kick off the ground, picked up across half forward nicely by Frida Purantatameri, who hooks the ball in towards full forward. It's a 2-on-1 here as the chance for the Magpies to get the first score on the board. Picked up and a snapshot for goal by Hilda Maureen, but just offline to the right and through for a minor score for the first score of the grand final.
First score of the grand final, and 2 minutes in, we haven't had to stop him play until then. So there could already be a few players just having a bit of a heave and a bit of a blowout. Play on from full back, and it looks like it's come in from Cantilla again, pushing into the back pocket. They'll play on, push up that far side, still inside 50, uncontested mark. Kicked across the face of goal, just looking for space. Finds her teammate, now paddles it on, takes advantage. She gets around one, shrugs a tackle, kicks it into space again. Intercepted there and paddled on by Tippingwoody. Now it goes and finds Rachel Purantatameri on half forward. Taken by the Bulldogs now off half back. Go into the middle of the ground. It's a beautiful mark there, and she'll just take that, take a breath, and then reload and launch forward. That's Ostina Tippingwoody today. Now she goes out to Emma Kiranoa, plays on it half forward, kicks it into the pocket. Had a 2-on-1, spills over hands out the back. Now picked up there by May Tippingwoody. Hacked off the ground into the forward pocket. It'll be a bit of a foot race towards the boundary line. I think the boundary line will be the winner there. No, kept alive. Picked up there by Cantilla, and now she's at the bottom of the pack. Looks like we'll have a ball up deep in the forward pocket for Walama.
First stoppage of the game. Oh, no, it's a free kick, in fact, so still haven't had that, and the Magpies bring it away, and they look for Maureen, Arthurina Maureen, just running off half-back, already racking up the possessions, kicks long down towards half-forward, out in front of Rachel Purantatameri, who controls it, kicks inside forward 50, just getting hands on the ball was Brandy Cantilla, and just stopped that forward thrust by the Magpies and prevented the mark, and Brandy Cantilla, interestingly, going for the barefoot option in the game today, but had a couple of touches already and looks like a reliable defender down deep.
Ball up in the forward pocket for the Magpies. They've got 1 point already. That one will go to the top of the square. Unlucky bounce there for Hilda Maureen. She kicked that point. She'll pick it up. She kept her feet. That's half the battle. Now has a snap-on goal. Has it gone through? I think that's the opening goal of the game. It is. One down to Hilda Maureen, and the Muluwurri Magpies take an early 7-point lead.
Terrific finish there. Good composure, and knew where the goals were, put it through, and the Magpies have really dominated possession of the ball so far, and of course with Arthurina Maureen across half-back, repelling everything that the Bulldogs have sent forward. So Bulldogs just need to get their hands on the ball and use their teammates. They had a couple of passages where they've used it nicely across half-back and through the middle, but just struggling going forward at the moment. But a good start for the Muluwurri Magpies.
Yeah, great to have your sort of most damaging player, arguably the most damaging in the competition, coming off half-back in the grand final. I think Arthurina Maureen can be really damaging there as we reset in the middle. Tapped down by the Magpies and then just paddled forward again by the Bulldogs. Yelena Tippingwoody that was. Now they launched it inside the forward 50. Uncontested mark there will go to Jeremina Apwatimi. She goes for a kick to a lead almost inside that centre corridor, but it's intercepted now by Serge. Now comes out May Tippingwoody, she has a shot on goal. It's just snuck to the wrong side of the post. The Bulldogs are on the board for their first score of the afternoon, or the morning, we should say, Stu.
Yeah, that's right. And you notice that time Arthur Maureen went in and did the ruck work at the centre bounce, and so when the Bulldogs went forward, she wasn't there to intercept. So got to weigh up where she's most value for you, I suppose, as the Magpies bring the ball back into play, but nicely picked up at ground level and a hand pass forward by Tiani Thompson, and a long kick in. Mark almost taken. In fact, it's a good defensive mark, and the Magpies the chance to clear away, looking to come to the near side of the ground. It's high, looking for Maureen there, and she takes the mark pretty easily against her Bulldogs opponent. She switches the ball across into the middle and towards the outer side of the ground, and now just a bit of pace, and on the bounce lost control of the ball. It was Purantatameri out there as the long kick comes in from Martha DeSantis into a forward pocket, and the Magpies have moved that quickly from one end to the other. At ground level, picked up by Leanne Darcy, but she's under a bit of pressure there, and the hand pass smothered over the boundary line. A bit of push and shove out there as the players come in to try and separate those two, and umpire Sam Cunningham is going to pay a free kick to work it out, and I think Darcy doesn't realise that she's got the free kick. She looks a bit angry at the moment, but I'm sure that'll settle her down getting the free kick, Will. Yeah,
this will be a very tight angle here. I wonder how cool her head is after that little scrap. If she centres it, which is probably a good option there, comes off hands, front and centre, and then just toe poked out of there. I think that's by Brandy Cantilla. It is, who's barefooted, or this might be her here. She's just taken the mark. So again, the barefoot option seems to be paying off so far. She kicks it just a short one over the top, finds her teammate in Efriana Tippingwoody in the back flank. Just easily gets around her opponent standing on the mark and gets it out of the defensive 50, pushing it down the line. She now finds Tiana Thompson on that far wing, takes a second bounce, then just sort of sidesteps through a tackle, gets a handball away. Bulldogs now launching it to half forward, intercepted though. I think she might have clipped her teammate on the way through, and now just inside the centre square. Forward of centre for the Bulldogs. They've got a player out the back if they can get it to her. They do. Now she just hoiks it onto the boot, launching it forward. And it comes off hand, spills in front. Looks like it's just inside 50, so getting close to the danger zone here, Stu. Whistles blown by the umpires. And I think we might have a free kick going the way of the Bulldogs. And it'll be in the hands of Jeremina Apwatimi.
Oh, in fact, the umpires changed their mind and switched it around, so it's going to be a Magpies free kick across half back, and they elect to go straight down the middle of the ground, but it's Bulldogs first to the ball on the bounce and thump it straight back into half forward. No mark taken there. The ball spills to the ground at ground level, nicely controlled by John Forrest, who gets a quick kick forward. Oh, well read, and Frida Purantatameri out the back, if you don't mind, with a couple of bounces. Third bounce running all the way. There's no one in front of her. She's going to go all the way to the goal line with about 5 bounces, and eventually just from the top of the goal square plants it through, and isn't she happy about that?
She loves that, doesn't she, Stu? And the Magpies take a 12-point lead almost 9 minutes into the first quarter here at Stanley Tipiloura Oval.
So those couple of star players for the Magpies that we mentioned before the game really standing up in the early stages here, with Arthurina Morena getting plenty of the ball, and Frida Purantatameri there just showed her class with judging the ball, getting out the back and controlling with bounces all the way down to the top of the goal square. So a terrific start for Muluwurri, and Walama with the work to do. Just the one score on the border behind, and they're trailing by a couple of goals as we approach the final minutes of this first quarter.
It's interesting that looking at the first sort of 9 minutes of the game, the ball was bouncing all sorts of directions, and then that last goal there, just a perfect bounce straight into the hands there of Frida Purantatameri, almost the first we've seen like that today. Back in the middle now, Bulldogs tap it down through Tippingwoody. Magpies though get hands on it first in the middle and just again hack it forward at half forward. Gee, that's a very good effort there from Raina Darcy. Stripped to the ball, umpire calls play on. Now the Bulldogs will come out of defence. They push it down, almost crossing into half forward instantly. Here's Tippingwoody again. It's Thekla Tippingwoody. And now Magpies off half back, just trying to gain control of it. As you said, last couple of minutes of the quarter here, Stu. Red time goal. A few tired bodies already. It's been a very fast start. And umpires called for a free kick on half back for the Magpies.
Yeah, just tugging the jumper there. So a chance to relieve, and Clara Johnston clears to the outer side of the ground. It's close to the boundary line out there, but kept in by Cook Bush. And it's Bulldogs who pick it up and clear away close to the boundary line. It's a beautiful pass and marked by Jeremina Apwatimi, who kicks down towards the forward pocket. Good use of the body, sees the ball through, and a passage for the Bulldogs, but determined defence at ground level forces the ball up, and a chance to reset. But that was good work at ground level by Serge for the Magpies. As from the stoppage, the hit out goes. There's a free kick been paid here, and again it's going to be a Muluwurri free kick, And this time Kimberly Starcy in that back pocket on the outer side of the ground. She kicks along the wing. And again, it's the Bulldogs repelling, and another good pass. And once again, it's Aputimi on the end of it. She's lively across half forward, Will.
Yeah, had a few sort of opportunities, not quite within range here, but now, she's looking off again, and she just passes into the pocket. Had two options to choose from. They play on in the pocket, have a pot shot on goal. Umpire doesn't move, and the Bulldogs are on the board.
That's a great kick from right out on the boundary line. Just trying to pick up who the goal scorer was, but it's the Bulldogs who are on the board with a goal at last, and they're celebrating, of course, as they run back into the middle of the ground. But that's a terrific finish from out wide, and probably some just reward for the Bulldogs. The last couple of minutes they've hit their forward half quite a bit, and Magpies defending stoutly, but that time they got through with some good use of the ball and a cool head with a shot at goal.
So we hit just after 12 minutes in this first quarter here. Bulldogs finally on the board, and it's a 6-point margin. Relatively even game in terms of momentum. Bulldogs, as you said, probably on top the last 5 minutes. Prior to that, maybe just the Magpies. They've got 2 goals to show for it. And the ball has been hit down there from Layla Cooper in the Muluwurri ruck, I should say. Now it's check-sided forward there by Maytip and Woody, just trying to find a player inside forward 50. 2 Magpies there holding it up, and they work it forward. Again, another kind bounce for the Magpies, but couldn't take it cleanly. Almost high against Tiana Thompson. She works it back into her favour. Gee, she's tackled and slung by the jumper. Umpires called for a free kick. Pinged for holding the ball. Magpies will get a free kick just behind centre.
Yeah, that was fair enough. It was a terrific tackle. Just would not let go, and the ball spilled out, and the free kick was paid there. The mark spilled by May Cantilla, but strong body contest. It's going to be a Bulldogs free kick here, and it's going to go to May Cantilla in the centre of the ground. He wheels around on the right foot, kicks long down towards centre half forward. In the marking contest there was Clara Johnston, and then controls it and thumps it out, and the mark taken just backward of centre, and the Magpies a chance to go forward again. It's got spares in the middle of the ground. It's a good pass, and Layla Cooper takes that mark on the centre circles. Cooper taking plenty of time, looking for options. She delivers out wide, and again a good pass, and the mark taken by John Forrest, who plays on quickly down towards the pocket and out on a long lead, and a terrific mark out in front. Jeroma Tipamanta Mary takes the mark in the right forward pocket, indicates that she's going to go long towards goal. Kicks long, it's going to fall short in the pocket, but again well judged down there, and a terrific mark taken. Not sure if it was going to be paid, but I think it is. And is that, it's Hilda Maureen, who's kicked the first goal of the game, and she'll go back and take the set shot.
Thought she was almost going to try and pass over the top, but she's lining up now. Looks like she'll kick truly. And that one through for a goal. No hesitation from the goal umpire at all. 2 goals up, they lead by now.
Yeah, didn't waste too much energy on that kick. Just chipped it over the goal line and through for her second goal. So a terrific start to the game for Hilda Maureen coming out of the goal square for the Muluwurri Magpies. And they stretch that lead back out to a couple of goals again, close to quarter time.
2-goal lead here. Not long left before quarter time. Bulldogs will just be trying to work it forward. They've probably had a little bit more forward 50 action at the moment, but it's just been very congested, as that is quarter time. So it'll be the Magpies 3-1-19 with a 2-goal advantage, 1-1-7 going to the Walama Bulldogs. Magpies on top there by 12 points.
Yeah, good start for the Magpies, and the game's been pretty open, hardly any stoppages, Will, and so some fast action, and it's just a matter of using the ball and stringing the possessions together. But the Magpies on top at the moment. We'll be back shortly with the second quarter. Welcome back to Stanley Tipiloura Oval at Wurrumiyanga on the Tiwi Islands for the 2025 Women's Tiwi Islands Football League Grand Final. And at quarter time, it's the Muluwurri Magpies who've opened up a handy 2-goal lead over the Walama Bulldogs in a pretty quick start. But Bulldogs have had their moments, Will, but Magpies have just been able to capitalise a bit better.
Yeah, possibly more of the foot in their forward 50 for the Bulldogs, but it's just been very congested down there. Meanwhile, I think all three of the Magpies' goals have been sort of counter-attacks running down the other end of the field and plenty of space in their forward line. So that's sort of the tail of the tape at the moment, as Arthurina Maureen has been brilliant off that half-back flank, gets the first hit out. Magpies looking to go forward early in this second half and running onto it. Rosemary Wilson just can't pick it up, finally does now. Inside 50, she kicks it to the hot spot, finds grass, and then running, but just tripped over as she went was the Magpies forward. Now coming to pick it up is Jerome Tipua Montgomery, and now the ball is kicked to the forward pocket but goes out of bounds on the full. Bulldogs will have a chance to rebound here.
Yeah, good defensive work there by Norma Tipungwoodi for the Bulldogs. Just kept the pressure on and affected the kick in the end. So gives the Bulldogs a chance for some relief from that back line. And Efriana Tipungwoodi just dribbles one along the ground, really, but it's to the advantage of her teammate initially, and just overzealous with the handling. I'm not sure what that free kick was for.
Rosemary Wilson.
Oh, and a
I think she's given it quite aggressive with her handball back there.
Yeah, she wasn't happy about the free kick, obviously, and let everyone know about it and gives away the 50-metre penalty. So this is a chance for the Bulldogs, but electing to play on, and now they're in trouble. The hand pass comes forward into the hands of Orsto, who kicks long down towards the forward pocket. First there is Arthurina Maureen for the Magpies. She picks up and casually has a bounce. Then on the left boot drives it long around the outer wing out in front of her teammate John Forrest there, who chips over the top. But Bulldogs are going to be first there, and running away is May Tipungwoodi. Happy to bounce the ball, and now hand pass out in front of herself, trying to run back onto it, paddles it forward. She's got it all the way down to half forward, almost controlled it there, but some good defensive work. She's in there again, picks up and now thumps a long kick down towards half forward, spills forward out of the marking contest, and at ground level it's handed over, and a bounce from Shireen Purantarameri kicks along to the top of the goal square and finds a teammate in Eileen Tipungwoodi. And Eileen Tipungwoodi thought about playing on, and she does now. Got the loose player over the top, and it's a good pass. And Jelena Tipungwoodi, who made the space running forward, takes the mark and goes back. Looks pretty confident in having the set shot here.
Yeah, absolutely. She's got a bit of a strut in her as she walks back there just beyond her mark. Just lines herself up. Looks like she's going to kick truly here. 2 goals they trail by. In comes Jelena Tipungwoodi. That's a very good-looking kick off the boot. Umpire didn't move, and no hesitation again. Straight through the middle. Walama Bulldogs moved 2 goals, 1-13, trailing by 6 points against the Magpies.
Yeah, exactly the start that the Bulldogs wanted in this second quarter. They trailed by 2 goals at quarter time and get first score on the board in this second quarter. And yeah, it all started off half back out there, and they worked the ball nicely forward, backed themselves a bit, and then a couple of marks inside 50 and a set shot goal gets them running in the second quarter. So the ball back in the middle of the ground.
Bulldogs there almost sort of did what the Magpies did, just got on the end of a run in their forward line and a little bit more open for that 4A forward. Maureen in the middle again, just got hands to it first, and now she'll do the clearance work as well. Takes a second bounce out of the middle, inside 50, launches it towards goal. That'll go through. Yes. Oh, what a response from the Magpies.
Arthurina Maureen just casual there. No one really put a glove on her as she won the hit out, then got the handball receive and just strolled off with a couple of bounces straight up the middle of the ground. And interesting that she chose to kick right foot last time. She came out of defence earlier kicking on the left foot, but that was a terrific finish and full of confidence, and she gets herself on the scoreboard.
Having a very good day so far. You'd think probably one of the most influential on the field.
She's back in doing the ruck work again, up against Thekla Tipiloura, and Maureen wins the hit out again. This time Bulldogs first hand on the ball, but can't control it, and Magpies work it through the hands, but they're stripped of the ball there, and a chance to go forward now with a long kick down towards half forward. It's the Walama Bulldogs, but the Magpies well set up behind the play, and a long clearing kick goes straight down the middle of the ground. Players a bit casual there, thought the whistle might have blown, but that's not the case, as Rosemary Wilson has a bounce, kicks long in towards full forward. The mark couldn't be taken there, and it's paddled out close to the boundary line on the out of the side. Bulldogs first there at ground level. A boot's thrown in there. That should be a Bulldogs free kick. They look to take the advantage, but it's going to come back.
Bit of a gridiron throw back to the player with the ball. She'll play on pretty quickly now as well. I think that might be Efriana Tippingwood. It is. I think she's going to be called back.
Keen to get on with the play, but Efriana called back to go back over. In fact, it's
going to be a Magpies free kick by the looks of it.
I'm not sure what's going on there. It looked like a pretty clear kicking in danger.
Jerome Tipiloura sort of signals that she's going to have a shot at it. That'll fall well short. Oh, in the pocket. A good mark, though. And I think that there might be Hilda Maureen, who's already kicked 2 goals in the first quarter. She'll line up. This is probably the toughest shot she's had so far. Very tight on the boundary line. Looks pretty confident, though. In she comes. Kicks it towards goal. Umpire doesn't move, and again she's got 3 for the day so far, and the Muluwurri Magpies sneak out to an 18-point lead, 5-1-31 against Walama Bulldogs, 2-1-13.
Yeah, so after the Bulldogs scored the opening goal of the quarter, the Magpies have hit back with the next 2, and their stars really standing up. So the Bulldogs have just got to get some control of the footy around the middle of the ground, but the Magpies midfielders right on top at the moment, especially from these centre clearances.
So back in the middle, 6 minutes down. A little bit of a halting play here. I think they're just making sure enough players are in the right positions. And ball goes up, comes off. I think that's hit the player in the head, and then good smother there, although maybe unintended against Frida Purintatameri. Just try to hack the ball forward. Now the Bulldogs just scrape it forward their direction. Comes off hands. Booted forward. Just a grubber in the end. Some bare feet coming through on the legs of Sharon Purintatameri. And now it's kicked forward to a marking contest. Running back with the flight. Couldn't take the mark in the end was Eleanor Maureen. She just gets it out of there, though. Managed to hold possession. A little bit of a foot race here. Can't take it cleanly off half back, and the Magpies will just have to do what they can to get it out of the danger zone, paddling it forward to their own advantage. She's got a couple of Bulldogs to beat, though done very well with support coming in from Eileen Tippingwoody running down that near side. In fact, it's Winifred Purintatameri. Gets a handball inboard, that time to Eileen Tippingwoody. Very tight on the boundary line, gets a boot away. Ball's gone forward, and it looks like it might have been turned over. No, just in the contest, taking the bounce. There's Darylyn Purintatameri. She kicks it. Umpires hit the deck as well. And then inside the centre corridor, I think there's been a whistle blown, and it'll be a free kick going the way of Layla Cooper by the looks of it. Inside 50. She looks a bit uncertain, unsure if she's maybe got the distance in it. Had a quick few glancing darts with her eyes, but ultimately looks like she'll line up. And there's been a 50-metre penalty paid, so this will take her, you'd think, right to the goal line, and will extend the lead again. Don't think there'll be anyone standing in on the mark there. She'll just stroll in easy as you like, and that is their 6th goal, that one going to Layla Cooper.
Yeah, the Bulldogs defenders not too interested in getting back to stand the mark there. I think there was a bit of confusion all around, but just wondering if that initial free kick was a result of the umpire contact. But anyway, the Muluwurri Magpies have made the most of the free kick and the 50-metre penalty, which took them to the goal line, and they're really starting to blow the margin out in this game with 3 goals so far in this quarter to 1, and the margin out to 4 straight goals.
3 goals on the trot as well. Momentum's really shifted back their way. Layla Cooper in the middle now doing the hit-outs for the Magpies. They've got a few pieces of tall timber they can rely on. In the middle, Frida and Tatameri handballs it back, and they work it forward again. Loopy over the top, but it's worked for them so far. Kick to full forward, couldn't quite be marked there by Eileen Tipping-Woody. And now Bulldogs on the last line of defence, just hoof it out of there, although an unkind bounce goes into their hands. They've got a few numbers there. They just need to use them well. Can't quite do that as the Magpies work it back out now to Frida and Tatameri. She's been very good as well. Bulldogs, though, just managed to get a kind bounce, take it out of there. One bounce, decent shepherd there. Goes across the face looking for the switch kick by the looks of it. And that's marked by the Magpies a long way from home, but definitely with the chance here. Letitia Lorenzo with ball in hand.
She kicks long down towards half forward, and a spare player there, and just falls into the lap of Frida Tatameri, who is pretty good at making space for herself, and the Bulldogs player's just not keen to go with her. But the pressure from the Muluwurri Magpies, especially once the ball goes forward, their forward half pressure is really affecting the Bulldogs' ability to clear the ball out of defence. Tatameri, a lovely looking kick. It goes long, just fades off to the right and off hands. It goes over the boundary line, and it'll be a stoppage in the right forward pocket for the Magpies once again. So a ball up about 10 metres out from the Magpies' goal. So in the ruck contest, it falls into the hands of Martha DeSantis. She has a quick snap at goal, but just leaves it out to the right, and are behind only. So chance for Bulldogs to build from the defensive goal square with the kick in here, just waiting for the football to be returned. And Gertrude Cantilla looks like she'll bring the ball back into play. So elects to play on with 2 bounces within about 3 metres, and then strolls away and kicks long to the outer side of the ground, but it's too wide by the looks and gone over the boundary line. So
interesting tactics, Stu.
So this will be a Magpies free kick once again.
Almost looks like a rugby style kick to touch, but won't have the same result. Magpies are able to put themselves in a dangerous position. Looks like she might be going to Torp.
Yeah.
He's gone deep into the pocket. Good defensive mark there taken by Efriana Tipping-Woody. He's come into this game as well. I think there's been a free kick going the way of the Magpies. Again, maybe lucky not to give away a free kick. Very aggressive handing back of the ball there. And I wonder if this is Hilda Maureen again.
I think it is.
Already kicked 3. She's going to go with the snap by the looks of it. Rolls round. And that one's gone through as well. No, just a point.
Just missing to the right-hand side, but yeah, you can see the skills on display there as the kick-in gets past almost everyone there, but eventually it's picked off, and the Bulldogs run it out of defence, but the hand pass in front just didn't bounce for Thekla Tipping-Woody there, but eventually they get it down inside the centre square, but again, Magpies first to the ball as it hits the ground, and just trying to paddle it in front of herself. Maureen again, happy to have a bounce across, running to the front edge of the square, bounces it inside forward 50. Oh, an unfortunate bounce for the Bulldogs defender. What a strong tackle there, and terrific tackle by May Cantilla, and she wins herself the free kick and wastes no time kicking to the outer side of the ground. Again, an unfortunate bounce for the Bulldogs, and the Magpies pounce on it, but trying to bounce the ball and losing control there was Tanisha John Forrest, and the Bulldogs bring it back again to the outer wing, and this time Tiani Thompson has the chance, but just overruns the ball, but she's got some support. It was Daryl and Tatameri often running with the bounce, but terrific defensive work and a rundown tackle by Rachel Tatameri, who laid that tackle out there and wins herself the free kick.
Great tackle, kick forward, not really to a target and intercepted. It'll be Bulldogs on half back. Just a minute left, and you'd think if the first half, and they trail by 26 points. They'd want to get one sneaky one back on board just to try and put some wind in their sails before the second half. Nothing really presenting forward by the looks of it, so she'll play on. Just kick a short one out wide. That hits the target. Now with Jeremina Upwatimi, she pushes it out now to the advantage of Tiana Thompson. Inside 50 she goes. Maybe this is the goal they're looking for. No one really between her and goal. She's gone for a dribbler, but there was plenty of people in the way. Comes off a foot. Has that gone through for a goal? No, I think it'll be a free kick before it registers a score, and it's going to go the way of the Magpies, almost on their last line of defence.
Yeah, the Bulldogs just didn't have a lot of urgency to get it forward, but eventually got it out into some space, and once they got running, they gave themselves a chance. But the free kicks, and I think the siren's gone to end the second quarter, and a really positive quarter for the Wurrumiyanga Magpies, who added 3-1. It was the Bulldogs who scored the first goal of the quarter, but didn't score again after that, and so the margin at half-time has blown out to 26 points, and the Magpies looking a good thing at this stage, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. They kicked 20 points to just 6, and Magpies, it's a pretty handy lead in what's probably an average scoring game at the moment, but Bulldogs really need to get on their skates if they're a chance in this grand final.
So we'll see how they go when they come back after this half-time break. We'll be back shortly. Well, welcome back to AFLNT's coverage of the 2025 Tiwi Islands Football League Women's Grand Final from Stanley Tipiloura Oval in Wurrumiyanga on Bathurst Island. It's the Muluwurri Magpies up against the Walama Bulldogs, and it's the Magpies, with all the running at the moment, have opened up a very handy 26-point lead at half-time. My name's Stu Davis. I'm with Will Zwar today, and Walama Bulldogs, all the work to do, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, pretty consistent first half of footy so far. 3 goals in each quarter to the Magpies, 1 goal in each of those quarters to the Bulldogs. They really need to get the ball rolling if they're to have an impact on this game. Trailing by 26 points at half-time. Their goals to Julisana Orsto was in the first quarter and Jelena Tippingwoody in the second. For the Magpies, 3 goals going to Hilda Maureen, 1 to Freda Purun-Tatameri, and in the second quarter it was 1 to Arthurina Maureen and Layla Cooper as well.
Yeah, Hilda Maureen really been a target for them up forward, and Arthurina Maureen, of course, across half-back and around the ground. But we're underway again here in the third quarter, and the Bulldogs looking to get their hands on the ball and really have some impact on the scoreboard. But working hard at ground level was Rachel Purun-Tatameri for the Magpies, but the Bulldogs still managed to get it forward.
She's going again, Purun-Tatameri.
Yeah, she is, but again, it's Arthurina Maureen who, with some control, brings it out of defence, and the Magpies down to half forward, get it inside forward 50 now. There's a one-on-one contest at ground level, and eventually the toe poke out goes the Bulldogs' way, or someone down in the middle of the ground for, I'm not sure what's going on there, but play goes on, and the Magpies with the numbers as the hand pass comes out. Eventually the injured player gets the ball. That's Winifred Purun-Tatameri, kicks forward and finds a target, and of course that target coming out of the goal square once again is Hilda Maureen, and she goes back with potentially a chance to kick her fourth. Decides to play on in the end, has a bounce, kicks long towards goal.
Well wide.
Yep. So just snuck through for a behind.
Not a bad kick from Winifred Purun-Tatameri after she looked like she was almost out of the game, having a little rest on the ground there. Bulldogs will kick it out now through Brandy Cantilla, one of many opting for no boots today, and that's a pretty good kick without any shoes on. Then Bulldogs work it down the line now. Great play there by Shireen Purun-Tatameri. She works it forward now as well. Comes off hands out the back, looking for Upwatimi. Then comes off to Tippingwoody. There's a 2-on-1 in the goal square. What can the one do? Oh, she's just bowled over there, and the Magpies get it out of there pretty convincingly. Into space now. Bulldogs should get first to it. Maybe not as switched on as they should have been. Gets a handball to themselves, working back through traffic. That's not the way to go. Now here's Rachel Purun-Tatameri again, working wonders on ground level. Can't get it past her opposition though. No one really game enough to pick it up. They're all playing football of the soccer variety at the moment. And then trying to bowl through Rayma Pwatjimi. She couldn't pick it up either on this near side wing. Finally, it's picked up by Tiana Thompson. Gets a handball back inboard to Thekla Tippingwoody. She goes into the middle of the ground. Now with May Tippingwoody, she kicks inside the forward 50 there. Good mark there. Going back with the flight to Kimberly Starcy.
Yeah, well judged, and back with the flight of the ball, took the mark nicely, and now looking to control it through the middle of the ground. It's going to bounce it to Bulldogs' advantage here as it's taken by Thompson, who gets the hand pass over the top, but trying to burst through there was May Tippingwoody, got caught with the ball, and she'll be penalised for incorrect disposal as the Magpies bring it into the centre square again. Up in front, in the hands, Rosemary Wilson couldn't take the mark, but still burrowing in for it at ground level as she gets some assistance from Caroline Purun-Tatameri. But Wilson again in there, gets a toe poke forward. This time it's through the centre. Arthur Maureen tries to kick off the ground. She's back over the top of it now, just struggling to control it. Picks it up eventually and swings on the left boot this time. Kicks down towards half forward on the bounce. It gets over the top. Bulldogs with the numbers should be able to bring it away as bursting out of defence there was Rayma Pwatjimi, and eventually she gets a long kick down the middle of the ground. It gets over the top, and there's a chance for the Bulldogs now as a pretty casual bounce and a long kick down towards full forward over the top. the Magpies defenders under pressure. A kick off the ground, just squirts wide. Unfortunately, it was Rahani Cantilla that kicked it off the ground, but only a minor score for the Bulldogs, and they need goals pretty quickly.
Yeah, if that one was just a few metres to the left, it might have gone through. Magpies instead, they're working it down the ground on that far side wing. Paddock of space there, running onto it. Magpies play, just try to handball it to her advantage. Caroline Puruntatameri it is. She was well beaten by the Bulldogs as they go inside their forward 50 again, running onto it. Is there time before the boundary line? No, I think it's just rolled out, but that's a good amount of ground gain there for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Aputimi there it was, trying to run onto the ball, and she's been dangerous across half forward most of the game, so just unfortunate for them that she couldn't get to it before it went out of bounds. So from the resulting ball up, the ball spills out the back, and first to it there for the Bulldogs is May Cantilla, who gets a hand pass out wide, and just took her eyes off the ball that time, and that allowed the Magpies in, and they're under pressure still as it's picked up and thumped forward by Tipiloura. Gets a long kick towards goal, but again just offline for the Bulldogs and a behind only. Loretta Cook to bring the ball back into play for Magpies, comes near side of the ground. Arthur Marina in plenty of space there. She's looking for options. She's got one out wide here, and the passes beautifully to Tanisha John Forrest in space at half-back, called to play on now, just chips it over the top, and it's a well-directed kick again. Good use of the football, and Winifred Puruntatameri takes the mark, happy to slow things down, and now looking to go into the centre corridor with a high ball. No mark taken, and a chance running forward. Jelena Tipiloura kicks long towards full forward. It's skewed off to the left forward pocket though, and bounces a couple of times before going over the boundary line. So it'll be a stoppage about 20 metres around from the Bulldogs' goal.
Similar to that first quarter, Stu, they're getting plenty of the ball up there, but it's just too many bodies in there and a lot of congestion. They just can't really get any clean disposals. Ball goes up now again, tapped down by the Magpies. They'll look to try and get it out of there pretty quick. Very well done there by the defenders, just powered up forward among about three, but the Bulldogs, they turn it over. Bounce inside the forward 50, kick towards goal. That's a good launch. It's gone through for a behind. That would have been a pretty impressive score and almost get them back in contention.
Yeah, Gertrude Cantilla it was, just backed herself, didn't she? Just happy to run in and take the space, and the kick looked good, but just offline. The kick in has put them under pressure again, and well read by Tipiloura. She plays on, chips across into the goal square, and here's the goal that the Bulldogs have been looking for. It's Rahani Cantilla who got on the end of it, but terrific team play there, wasted no time, got it forward, and Rahani Cantilla was all by herself in the goal square and just poked it through for the first goal of this third quarter, and a really handy one for the Bulldogs as they try to keep applying the pressure and keep themselves in this game.
Yeah, 3 goals the margin now, 3 straight kicks, and the Bulldogs will be dead straight with them. Although last time they scored a goal, Arthurina Maureen got a hit out in the middle, 2 bounces, launched from 50 metres and straight through the big sticks. She's lining up there again. I wonder if we'll see the same thing against you.
Yeah, she's a super talent, but I just need to get some control. She's not even going for the ruck contest there. Maybe she was looking the other way, but so Bulldogs couldn't take advantage of it initially, as on the ground they're pretty willing, but good work at ground level by Thompson. Got the hand pass out, and now a long kick forward by May Tipiloura again, but this time it's chopped off across half back, and Magpies will just settle things down and slowly build towards their forward half. The kick goes inside the corridor looking for Maureen. That's a terrific mark taken at shin height, and just indicating to her teammates that she intends to slow things down a bit. Now looking for a lead.
Another torpedo.
Yeah, long torp straight down the middle of the ground. Play on's the call as the ball inside the Magpies forward 50 area, and it's paddled out now. The Bulldogs working hard in defence. Just a hand pass to herself eventually paid off as the kick goes wide to the outer wing. There's 3 Bulldogs players there, 4 Bulldogs players there. If they can get their hands on the ball, And eventually, some terrific work by Apotimi once again, and she's off and running with a couple of bounces. Hand passes over the top. There's no one there. She follows it up herself, but Magpies defenders closed on her, and now they've got their hands on the ball, trying to work it out. The long kick out by Joran to the outer wing, and again, some clever footwork, and Magpies are off and running once again as a long bounce and a long kick inside forward 50 just gets over the top of the Bulldogs defenders, and well read by Martha DeSantis, who took the mark, and she'll go back and take the set shot, and you would imagine she'll have the shot for goal from here. Wasting no time, goes the torp again. It's a long one. It's going to fall short into the goal square. It's off hands, and good defensive work by Daryl and Puruntatameri, who was under all sorts of pressure in the one-on-one contest in the goal square. Just manages to force it through for a behind to the Magpies.
Beckoning for a lead, nothing really striking her at the moment, so she'll just play on from fullback. 2 bounces again, 3 bounces, 4 bounces, almost a bounce every second step, and then she just puts boot to ball there, gets it over the top to a one-on-one. Couldn't get advantage in. I think that might be Maureen. Just pushes it over the top to the top of the goal square. Intercepted there by Stanley Poajimi. Hits a roadblock. Kicks it forward off the ground, just a little grubber, has support. Instead, she'll just kick it long, trying to get it out of the danger zone. But there's lots of Magpies. Good check side high into the forward 50. Don't think there's been a mark taken as the Bulldogs tap it forward now. And again, look to rebound. Overrun it, though. Now picked up by the Magpies. They push it forward. Looking for Rachel Puruntatameri. She blisses through the pack, kicks it towards goal. That goes through. Umpire again doesn't move, and no hesitation from him. They extend the lead back out to 25 points. Great goal there from Rachel Puruntatameri.
Yeah, wasn't it? Just put the jets on, didn't she? And burst through the pack and put a space between her and everyone else on the field, and kicked strongly from about 15 metres out directly in front. But yeah, just a burst of energy and through the middle. Saw the opening and went for it and banged it through. So the Wurrumiyanga Magpies once again able to get the answering goal after the Bulldogs scored the first goal of the quarter. Bulldogs really needing to string some together, and they haven't been able to kick back-to-back goals in the game so far. So that's they really need to get their hands on the ball and get some repeat forward entries and goals if they to be a chance in this grand final. But it's the Magpies again, straight out of the middle.
Yeah, Cooper doing some pretty handy work in the ruck there. Now just overrunning it there was Winifred Puruntatameri. Puts a tackle on to follow up her work. Bulldogs with the ball in hand. Almost ran the wrong way. Then I think she realised where she was going. Turns around. The bare feet again. That'll be pretty hard on the hot ground there, but it works out for her. Bulldogs work forward. 2 to beat, and she's done very well there. Sells a bit of candy as well. Efriana Tippingwoody, and then run down, but the ball goes forward. Handball across from Cantilla, across now to Tippingwoody. Is that gone through? Oh, just to behind, just the wrong side. She's already kicked a goal today, Jelena Tippingwoody. Was hoping for another one there. Magpies, they'll rebound from their back line. Another few bounces as they bring it back in. A lot of tired bodies out there already, still a quarter of footy to play. Comes out, finds Rosemary Wilson. She's pretty quick to move. Finds Winifred Puruntatameri. And again, just happy to run the clock down. Gets a handball off. And now they work it down the line again. This time looking for Rachel Puruntatameri. She kicked that last goal, paddles it forward. Gets around her opponent. No. Gets a handball forward. And then kicked into the opposition team. It was Rama Poajimi, I think now. Oh, gee, slipped over. Rachel Puruntatameri. Kicked back from Leanne Darcy. Finds a mark. Umpire calls play on. She doesn't know. Gives a handball off. No, she didn't have anyone to handball to. Run down. Umpire pings her for holding the ball. Bulldogs quick to move there, sensing the time. Kick down there. I think this might be from Lucinda Tippingwoody, but couldn't find a target. Now we've got a Magpies player off half back, just overrun, tapping it up to herself. May Tippingwoody, inside 50, outside 50, handballs it to a teammate, handball over the top again. Now here comes Efriana Tippingwoody, kicks it into, great smother. They used her head there, Eleanor Maureen. Magpies working it out of there, and again, they're just trying to absolutely hoik it out of there as much as they can. Mark can't be taken there by Rosemary Wilson. Umpire calls play on. Bit of a fend off there from Tippingwoody. Umpire, what's he called? A free kick going the way of the Magpies, and that's safe hands there. Might even be a 50-metre penalty. No.
Gee, the Bulldogs throwing everything at it at the moment, and really it looks like the Magpies are just trying to hold on, but they just can't get the score on the board. They've had some good forward entries and some good teamwork, but now the Magpies chipping it around through the middle of the ground, and they're looking to go forward, and they've been far more efficient when they have gone forward. As the mark taken here by Raina Darcy. He's got a running player in Layla Cooper, gets a hand pass over the top. It's all open for the Magpies here, and once again we see that efficiency going forward, and it's Martha DeSantis in the end that swings around on the right boot and kicks the goal. So for all of the possession and all of the opportunities that the Bulldogs have had, it's just been the Magpies who've been able to go to keep their forward line open and find targets inside forward 50 and get the scores on the board.
Yeah, it seems like the Magpies are using their petrol tickets much more wisely and more efficiently. Bulldogs just seem absolutely knackered with every single play. Meanwhile, the Magpies just doing enough to stop it going forward, and then on the rebound, they've got plenty of space and time to work with.
So the margin's opened up to 5 goals here, as has been the pattern of the game. The Bulldogs scoring the first goal and then Magpies replying with multiples. As in the middle of the ground, the Bulldogs again can't take advantage of the hit out that they won, and running through Rosemary Wilson with a bounce and kicks long towards half forward, but the siren's gone to end the third quarter, and another win in that quarter for the Muluwurri Magpies, and they're in a really strong position at 3-quarter time. So we'll be back with the final quarter of this Tiwi Islands Football League Grand Final after the 3-quarter time break, and see what the Bulldogs can do in the last quarter to chip away at this margin.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Welcome back to AFLNT's coverage of the 2025 Tiwi Islands Football League Women's Grand Final from Stanley Tipiloura Oval in Wurrumiyanga. It's the Magpies against the Bulldogs, and it's the Magpies who have really blown this game apart with a 5-goal lead at three-quarter time. Willswar, it's the Magpies dominating really, and a lot of it on the back of Hilda Maureen up forward.
Yeah, they are. They've kicked 6 goals, 3 goals each in the first 2 quarters. Only the 2 in that third quarter. And the Bulldogs sort of had a little bit more momentum, but they just couldn't convert. 1 goal, 4 they kicked in that third quarter. And as we said late, they just didn't quite seem to be making the most of their opportunities. Probably using a bit too much energy in certain spots. And Magpies probably with a little bit smarter play and expecting them to hold out relatively strongly. They just probably look a little bit more structured as an outfit.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I was going to say they look a bit better organised, don't they? They have players in defence, and the Bulldogs just been lacking when the ball's gone forward for the Magpies in matching up their opponents, and they've been able to get out the back a few times and score some relatively easy goals. So, yeah, it's been a good performance by the Magpies, and they've been really impressive today. And you would imagine they should go on to win this premiership, but the Bulldogs with it all to play for in this last quarter as we wait for play to start, and we're up in the middle of the ground now as Maureen gets her hand to the ball, and again it's the Magpies breaking from the middle, and Rachel Puruntatameri once again showing that speed, kicks long inside forward 50, the mark spilt by Nancy Keranua, and the Bulldogs able to bring it away. They're happy to bounce the ball, but just struggling to control it there was Darryl Puruntatameri, still fighting for it at ground level, but she's under plenty of pressure from her Magpies opponents as they work it out into some space now, and the chances wheeling around was Frida Puruntatameri, but she got tackled and her hand pass spilt into the hands of the Bulldogs and picked up now by Jelena Tipungwuti, who kicks long around the outer side of the ground, and a chance to go forward through Shauna. Tipungwuti tries to get it over the top to Emma Keranua, but was just out of her reach, and the Magpies defenders closed on it again, but loose ball pounced upon and kicked forward. The Bulldogs have got it inside their forward 50. Again, the Magpies pressure too much, and Arthurina Maureen runs away again and kicks long down towards half forward where the mark's been taken, and the Magpies a chance to go inside forward 50 again.
Yeah, pretty easy one over the top as well. Couldn't quite find the target cleanly, but Nancy Kiranoa's done a pretty good job. Bulldogs intercept it now, get it out of their defensive 50, kick it well wide, and that you'd think is going to bounce over the boundary line. Will the umpire, that one be a turnover? I think it might be. As it's, out of bounds in between the 2 arcs there. So it'll be Leanne Darcy taking a kick from a long way out. Won't score from here, but maybe the opportunity to set them up. She kicks it well placed, couldn't find a target cleanly. Frida Puruntatameri got a handball, but the Bulldogs again just try and work it out there. Good mark there from Leanne Darcy, and they're playing a little bit of kick to kick. She'll have another crack. That one goes across the face, looking for Rachel Puruntatameri, who's been really tantalising this second half. Bulldogs turn it over in the middle of the ground. They take a mark through Jelena Tipungwuti. Probably one of their best today. She finds a player out wide. Plenty of space now. Bulldogs working forward. They kick it deep, going long. Running back, last line of defence is Lorette Cook. And now they push it across, looking to switch it and come out this near side. Magpies work down, finding Maureen. Dropped the ball, now has 2 to beat. One of them is Jelena Tipungwuti. She goes from outside 50 inside. And then the Magpies again just kicking it out of there in the middle of the ground. The ball has gone now into the forward line for the Magpies. Rolling it forward. Magpies just swooping on it, picking it up on the defensive side of the ball. Inside 50 they go again. They just can't quite find a target in this last quarter there, can they, Stu?
No, Bulldogs working hard across half-back, and again, they worked it around the outer side of the ground, but put themselves under a bit of pressure really there as it's chopped off by Apatumi, who gets a hand pass over the top, but straight into the hands of Lorenzo. Lorenzo, quick kick towards the boundary line. It's going to roll out, I think, or is it kept in out there by Ostina Tipungwuti, who gets a long kick around the outer wing, and the ball's still in play as the Bulldogs look to work it forward once again, and they get it down inside their forward half. As the long kick comes in now, no mark taken, the ball spills to ground. There's Magpies numbers there as they work it away again, and a long kick out of defence relieves the pressure into the middle of the ground, and all by herself there, the Magpies player in Frida Purantatameri just sells some candy there, kicks long inside forward 50 and hits a loose target in Layla Cooper. She wastes no time, kicks long towards goal, but just misses to the left-hand side and through for a behind. So you can see that the Magpies moved it much more easily forward than the Bulldogs have been able to do. It's been a real struggle for them going forward all day.
Yeah, and Magpies finally got one in their forward line, just couldn't quite convert, but at this stage of the game, their goal was probably just to keep the Bulldogs at bay, which they seem to be doing a pretty good job at. It's turned over inside 50 again, running onto it. Rosemary Wilson, she finds the target very close to goal. And I think that, again, might be Maureen, who's kicked 3 so far today. Yeah,
she's strong up forward, isn't she? And took that mark under not much pressure, and we'll have a set shot from the goal square, basically. And her teammates celebrate, her fans in the crowd behind the goal there, you can see celebrating. And she'd be pretty happy with a return of 4 goals in the grand final, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. Be in contention for best on ground, you'd think, with 4 goals, and puts the margin out game high now to 37 points it is, 9 goals, 660. Walama Bulldogs 3-5-23. And Hilda Maureen with that means she's outscored her opposition as well.
A pretty impressive performance.
Wouldn't be a Tiwi Islands grand final without a dog on the field there, just running through in the background. This ball goes up in the middle. Layla Cooper doing the ruck duties, but I think it was Julicina Orsto as the Bulldogs running the wrong way, get a handball back into the middle, pushed forward. Can they get something to cheer for in this last quarter? The Bulldogs premiership, you'd think, not likely at this stage. Magpies too good in the back line as well, though that kick intercepted. Snap towards goal. Comes off hands, and Magpies just too many numbers back there. They kick it long. Good mark. Intercepting from the Bulldogs, high half forward. Won't score from here, you wouldn't think, though. There have been a few torpedoes today. That one goes inside 50. Now, Orsto just kicked a goal in the first quarter there. Comes off hands out the back. Magpies again too good, just getting their hands to the ball first. Intercepted again. Here comes Tipungwuti. Handballs inside. Snap is smothered. Magpies just throw it on. Get it out of it there. Bounces over a teammate's head. Bulldogs 2-on-3 here. A third coming in to offer support out the back, but the ball spills forward for them. Magpies finally pick it up now. Head over the ball, and there'll be a free kick being paid for high contact.
Yeah, once again, the Magpies working hard in defence, and no easy possessions for the Bulldogs once they get inside their forward 50, and that's been the story of the day as the long kick comes out, gets over the back, and running onto it down there is Rachel Purantatameri again. She's been a real live wire today, but just couldn't control it and then slips over in the bare feet. But the Bulldogs work it out nicely through some handballs, and May Tipungwuti has a bounce, but then it's chopped off again, and Rosemary Wilson, another live wire in the forward half for the Magpies, gets it forward, and the pass comes in, beautifully done, and Frida Purantatameri on the end of it this time now plays on around on the right boot, has a bounce, swings towards goal and thumps it through, and doesn't she celebrate? Have a look at that for a celebration, and I think almost everyone in the ground now can sense that this is going to be a Muluwurri Magpies premiership, and it's just a matter of how far the margin in the end now.
Yeah, that was a lovely kick kick there from Tipiloura Tatameri. She's had a really good game, sort of midfield and a little bit of forward, obviously snuck forward for those 2 goals she's kicked so far today, and that puts the margin out now to 43 points.
Yeah, really impressive, the Muluwurri Magpies, and as we said, bit better structured, a bit better organised, and the skills have shone out as the thump comes forward and Rosemary Wilson runs onto it again. Under pressure, still burrowing in underneath, but just knocked off it in the end, and but she's going to win herself a free kick for having the jumper pulled without the ball. She wastes no time with the chip kick forward, and again, got a free player, and again it's Tipiloura Tatameri who takes the mark, just indicating to her teammates to settle things down, and no doubt she'll back herself to score again here. No, she doesn't. She's got a player on the lead. It just falls short on the bounce. Comes into the hands of Martha DeSantis. Her kick fell short and across the face of goal. Bulldogs trying to run it out of defence. It's close to the boundary line on the outer side. Managed to keep it in so far as just a bit of push and shove as they try to work it out of the congestion, and eventually it's brought away by Sharon Tatameri, and she's off with a couple of bounces and now kicks long around the outer side of the ground again. But Magpies standing strong, getting some numbers around the ball as it's just forced forward, and now picked up and thumped away by Lorenzo into the forward half, but it's going to bounce over the boundary line, probably just inside the forward 50 out there.
5 minutes left in this one, Stu, and you'd think it's almost party time for the Magpies.
Yeah, well, their fans won't be celebrating too hard too early because their men's team are in the grand final as well, so it's a big day for the team from Melville Island.
It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Magpies. Deep on that far side. Looks like she's lining up and having a crack at it. Good shot for goal. Not sure what the result of it is at this stage. Think it's all clear and through for
a point.
So 44 points now, the margin in favour of the Magpies.
Yes, so that's you're running through those previous scores. There's been some pretty big margins, hasn't there, in between these two?
Yeah, so in the first week of finals, it was the Bulldogs who got up 43 to 32, so 11 points there. Round 13, it was a 40-point margin, and round 1, it was 67 points. So this one getting out to that 40-point margin again.
Not sure what's happening here. It looked like almost a walk-in goal for the Magpies.
Might be
no score.
Potentially a free kick coming up. And I think it will be. So just waiting for the ball to come back into play here.
Yeah, so that's a big turnaround from earlier in the finals as the Magpies have really dominated this game.
And a pretty good season for the Magpies. A couple of losses along the way, obviously, to Walama in their second match. They had started off the season with 2 losses, a second one to Tiwi, and then they also lost to Walama in that preliminary or that qualifying final, as we said earlier too. But otherwise, a pretty good result for the Magpies this season. They'll be lining up for another shot on goal. Perfect camera angle here. It'll be Tipiloura Tatameri with 2 goals already today. One of the more influential on the ground. In she comes. It's a good looking kick, fading, but it's holding its line enough, and that's through for a goal. So that pushes it out now to a 50-point margin, 35-23 to Walama, to the Muluwurri Magpies, 11-7-73.
Yeah, it took a long time to get that ball back, and weren't really sure what the free kick was for, but won't affect the outcome. And Tipiloura Tatameri has really stepped up again with a couple of goals in this last quarter. It's just showing the class of the player that's been a dominant force in Tiwi Islands football for a number of years now, and of course plays for the Tiwi Bombers in the Northern Territory Football League, Women's Premier League as well. So She's been one of those star players for the Magpies that have stood up and really helped them to assert their dominance in this grand final. It's all come together at the right time for them on grand final day, and they've been really strong all day as the clock winds down. Only a minute and a half or so to go now. There's a free kick going the Bulldogs' way here. No time wasted as Thekla Tipiloura gets the kick out wide. But the Magpies again are going to be there at ground level. Under plenty of pressure, the ball spills forward. And now the chance for Thompson for the Bulldogs. The kick comes inside forward 50. But again, the Magpies set up well behind the play and just clear it out. And they're happy to just play some possession football and slow things down around the outer side of the ground where they've got loose players running everywhere. I think the Bulldogs can sense that their chances are gone in this grand final as a long kick goes forward. Mark spilt there, and now it falls into the hands of Rayma Portjimmy, who has a bit of a casual bounce and then loses control of the ball, loses her footing, and Rosemary Wilson takes possession, thumps it forward, but again, it's chopped off in defence.
Bulldogs just getting it out of there as the clock continues to tick down to that final siren, marking that back line to Rayma Portjimmy. She pushes it a bit further down the line, plays seemingly coming to a halt as the Bulldogs just trying one last foray forward. A couple of bounces now coming. Oh, great rundown tackle there. Ping for holding the ball. That's an umpire Cunningham. Love that one. And it will be Magpies on the half-back flank. Call to play on. In fact, that's the final siren. So it's a black and white premiership in the women's competition on the Tiwi Islands for season 2025. And look at the fans running on, Stu.
Yeah, fantastic, isn't it? They're all getting excited now with one Magpies premiership in the bag. They'll be hoping for another in the men's game to follow in an hour or so's time. But really impressive performance by the Muluwurri Magpies, and thoroughly deserved their win today. They were outstanding in the contest, and their organisation and teamwork was just terrific. And Will, perhaps you can go through some of the goal scorers for us.
Yeah, we had 4 goals went to Hilda Maureen. She hit 2 in that first quarter and 1 in the second and fourth. There was also 2 goals kicked to Frida Puruntada Mary, another one of the best players on the ground today. And singles to the Magpies went to Martha DeSantis, Layla Cooper, Rachel Puruntada Mary, with the blistering one coming off hands in the forward line. And who could forget Arthurina Maureen's in the second quarter, straight out of the ruck, a couple of bounces, and then belted it through from 50 metres out on the run. For the Bulldogs, it was just the 3 goals, 1 in each of the first 3 quarters, starting with Julicina Orsto in the first quarter, Jelena Tippingwoody, and then Rahani Cantilla in the third. Ultimately, it wasn't enough. A 50-point margin, the game high margin as well. And Magpies, as we said, 1 from 1. They've got a chance to go the double with the men's grand final coming up in a few hours' time.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, there'll be a medalist out of this game. It will no doubt be a Magpies player, but could be one of a number of players. Will Arthurina Maureen, Frida Puruntada Mary, Hilda Maureen, Rosemary Wilson was lively, Rachel Puruntada Mary was lively. They're probably the main chances, you would think. Yeah,
I think throw Layla Cooper in as well. Yep. She was quite good in the ruck too. But the medalist you'd think is probably going to come from one of those handful of players. Very consistent over the 4 quarters.
So that's it for us for this women's grand final. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage, and of course the men's Tiwi Islands Football League grand final coming up. Once again, it'll be the Muluwurri Magpies, this time up against the Imaloo Tigers, 2 Melville Island teams. So really looking forward to that in an hour or so's time. Hope you can join us for that one as well.